Most High in Christ. Bear with me 1 second, Israel. I'll be getting with you in one moment. All right. There we go. All right. Shalom, Israel. YAHAWAH, YAHUSHUA. I'm preaching officer Yediah, officer 5000. Hold it down this Thursday. Understand, there is more to come, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. More plagues, World War III around the corner, and it's up to us to come back to our God. Now is not the time to be out there in the world being indecisive. Like Nathan, this is not the time to be out there thinking about coming into the truth. Now is the time is to get up in it. You see what's going on in the earth, Iran and Israel. You see Donnie. Donnie was out there. When I mean Donnie, I'm talking about Donald Trump. He was out there. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. He's trying to do the best he can, Nathan. But the problem is the Lord is against Donald Trump. The Lord is against America. The Lord is against Israel and Iran, man. That war in the Middle East you see that's coming and happening, the Lord wants it. Scripture says, man, that the first two woes have passed, and the third woe cometh quickly. World War III is around the corner. That's why it is very important for our people. We have to exclude ourselves from the oppressor. How do we do that? Let me get the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. Also, too, if y'all have any questions, I'll be answering y'all questions tonight. Put your questions into the chat. I'll be answering them. But if I could, give me the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26, because I often hear, what must we do? How do we go about things? Everybody on TikTok, Nathan, is a so-called prophet. Right. When you scroll on TikTok or scroll on Twitter, all you see is bitter relationship podcasts, you know what I mean, charlatans and shamans speaking nonsense. The Bible is the solution for Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. Right. And to properly understand this Bible, that King James Bible that's been collecting dust on your dresser, on the shelf, to properly understand it, you have to come back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, because we are the children of Israel. We are the Jews of antiquity, and our God has something that he needs us to do. Read what you got.
God, it's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 26. Mm-hmm. And ye shall be holy unto me.
The Lord said, ye shall be holy unto me. A lot of you probably think, when you think the word holy, you think about your mama, your auntie, your grandma with that crazy looking feathered hat on in church. You think about your pastor or your imam with the white robe and gown on. That's not what holy means. When you look up the word holy means to be separate or set apart. The Lord is telling the children of Israel, the Most High God, Yahweh, is telling us that ye should be holy, separate unto me, because we are a holy people, a separate people. The Lord did not choose everybody. I know a lot of our people in the Thun, they believe that we all are the same. God doesn't, you know what I mean? God is not a respecter, you know what I mean, of persons. He's not just going to pick one over the other. You honestly don't know the Most High. And they misinterpret the respecter of persons differently in the Thun. Because that's not talking about, you know what I mean, the Lord having picks, you know what I mean, the way you think. The Lord absolutely does have his pick, and his pick is the children of Israel. We're his people. That's why he's telling us, and ye shall be holy unto me. Who is he talking to in Leviticus? He's talking to the children of Israel. He's talking to the children of Israel the entire Bible, from Genesis to Revelations. Keep reading.
Come. For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy, meaning the Most High is separate. The Most High is set apart. He's not everybody's father. I want you to understand and think of the Most High as a father. As a matter of fact, don't even just think about it. Christ said it himself. What did Christ say? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. The Most High is our Father. To quote my brother Zawai, he's our Father. He's not your father. I'm not your father. He's only the father of the children of Israel.
Right.
He ain't the father of the Arabs or the Asians, the Polynesians, white people. He's not their father. Keep going.
Come, and have severed you from other people.
And the Lord said he severed us from other people. What does it mean to sever? I take this blade, right, and was to do this, bang, sever my arm, it's going to be severed from my body. The Lord severed us from other people, separated us from everybody. Segregation is in the Bible. The Lord does not want us being all together, all kumbaya with these other nations. The son, how could I forget? Black people, I want to speak to you for a second. Tomorrow, you are more than likely going to celebrate the 4th of July. And I need you to understand something. Where do you think you were on the 4th of July in 1776? You was in chains, still in slavery. That is not your Independence Day. True independence and liberation for blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians will be at the hand of a black man by the name of Jesus Christ, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose name is YAHUSHA mashiach. You look foolish if you're getting ready to go out there and fire your grill up. The Lord wants us to be separate from all that. Let me ask you something. You think, I want you to think about something. I want to break something down for you. Could you imagine if Hitler had a national holiday, right? Well, mine as well with 4th of July. That's how black people should look at it. But imagine if Hitler had his own Independence Day for the day where the Germans liberated themselves from Jewish rule. Imagine if they celebrated that, and imagine so-called Jewish people celebrating that. You would look at them as traitors, right? You would look at every Jewish man as a traitor to his race if he was to celebrate Hitler. That's how you look, black and Latino man, trying to celebrate the 4th of July.
Right.
That's how you look. You look foolish. I know what you're probably thinking. You die. It's just a day where we're off and we get to go out there and cook out and be with family. Do you know what white people did and still do on the 4th of July? You know who was being barbecued for real? Black men and women and Latino men and women. We were the barbecue. They would light us on fire for everybody to see as a spectacle while their families would be together. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And if you are a black or a Latino or a Native American Indian, you are a traitor to your race if you are going to celebrate the 4th of July. You're an Uncle Tom or Uncle Tomas or an Uncle Tomahawk. You don't want to be that. Our God said, ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and I have severed you from other people. Our God severed us from the 4th of July. Right. You want to know an excellent example, you know what I mean, for us to observe is that Passover. When our God liberated us from the hands of the Egyptians. And our God is going to liberate us again from the hand of the oppressor here in America. That's why our high holy days and feast days, we have to celebrate them. Let the oppressor have his days, man. Let them have it. They can have it. The Lord ain't with the 4th of July anyway. And if you are a black or Latino, and especially a Native American Indian celebrating the 4th of July, you truly are a traitor. As a matter of fact, give me Amos, my son. Amos 5 in verse 21. Let me tell you what the Lord says and thinks about your 4th of July. You look crazy getting ready to go out. And you know the Thun used to be one of them brothers that was outside wearing them red, white, and blue tracksuits. I'm joking, of course. The Thun wasn't that type of brother. I would hope not. But some of you Negroes gonna be out there with the red, white, and blue. You know what I'm saying? The Thun with the red, white, and blue shirt and shorts, you know what I mean, or joggers. Don't be that brother. Don't be that sister. This is what our God says about the 4th of July or any of these holidays that the white man has. Give me Amos 5 and 21.
God, it's the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days.
What is the key word in this scripture right here? The key words.
Yes.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Despise.
Not just despise. It says, read it again from the top.
Oh, I hate.
The Lord said, I hate. You got to stop, because most Christians, Nathan, are going to tell you that God does not hate. And that's another thing, too, what I want to ask Christians. We got to go back out in the street and ask Christians this. Like, why do you think, as omnipotent and as all-powerful as our God is, beyond human comprehension, behind angelic comprehension, nothing can comprehend the Most High in its totality. But let me ask you a question. What makes you think the Lord is incapable of hate? He said, I hate. I despise, read.
God. Your feast days.
The key word is your. The Lord said, I hate, I despise your feast days. What are your feast days? The 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. Those are your feast days. The Lord says, I hate, I despise your feast days. The Lord hates 4th of July. And no black man, no self-respecting black man and woman should be celebrating. No self-respecting Latino man and woman, no self-respecting First Nation man and woman should do it. And you Negroes that mask it under, it's just a day off for us to barbecue. Nigga, we've been barbecuing since the beginning of time. We invented cooking outside. That's something that niggas do and it have done. You mean to tell me? And that's another thing too, like when I be getting into it with our people in the Thun, where they say, oh, but on these holidays, we get together with our family because we're off. You mean to tell me we can't get together with our family any other day? We have to do it because your white daddy said to do it? Shame on you, man. Shame on you. We need to come back together, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, in the name of our God, Yahawah, in the name of our King, YAHUSHA, in the Israelite school of U.P.K. Doing it for the oppressor and then trying to fight for it? Stop being a coon. The Lord said, I despise your feast days. Read on.
God. And I will not smell in your solemn assembly.
And I will not smell in your solemn assembly. Some of you out there think you can eat whatever you want. Oh, the fun. You should see him on TikTok. I be scrolling. I just be trying to enjoy the funny videos that Captain Aria in the car and you send me. And I be looking at these nuts on TikTok talk about, well, you know, it's not what goes in the mouth that defiles a man, but what comes out. Let me tell you how stupid a lot of Christians are. That verse that they're referring to, what Christ was saying, Christ wasn't talking about food. He wasn't. Christ was talking about your actions. Because your actions show you don't serve the Most High. The traditions of the elders that the Sadducees and Pharisees were referring to, because the disciples didn't wash their hands before they picked the corn and ate it. And Christ was like, well, nigga, so what? And you sitting up here talking about, well, you know, you're supposed to wash your hand. That's the tradition of the other. And Christ cut them and said, well, what about our God? What about our laws, statutes, and commandments? Y'all want to be quick to justify eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. When shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster was unlawful during the time of Adam. It was unlawful during the time of Adam. It's always been unlawful. Right. Let them pigs live, man. Let the crabs live. You don't know that. I be at the slavery ready to crack the little lobster and little shellfish case, man. Let them live. A pig, man, listen, you know what a pig is good for? A pig is a good pet. You can feed him whatever. You can train him up just like a dog. He was never meant to be consumed. Our God said, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Meaning this, he's not about to smell them pork ribs you putting on the grill. He ain't about to smell. And let me tell you something, and this is between me and y'all. We family. Them seafood boils is disgusting. Like, I be ready to throw up. Like, you know why the water in Atlantic City looked the way it looked? Because you're killing all the crustaceans. They were never meant to be consumed. They meant to keep the water clean, and you got him on newspaper with corn. It's a waste of corn. God ain't smelling that. He said, I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So you doing all that barbecuing. He ain't about to smell none of that. Right. None of it. Keep going.
Verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings.
Though you going to offer me these burnt offerings. Keep going.
And your meat offerings. Mm-hmm. I will not accept them.
I will not accept them. The Lord is not about to accept your 4th of July. We have high holy days and feast days that we have to keep. What we need to understand, man, is the oppressor is going to pay for what he has done to blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians. His crimes are too great. I need you to remember something. In 1776, we were still enslaved. Right. What's the Constitution say? That liberty and justice for all men. That didn't count for you and me, black man and woman. It says that we were 3/5 of a man. It said that black and Latino and Native Indian men, we were 3/5 of a man. That didn't apply to us. We were still in chains. Still in chains while the bombs was going off and while they were celebrating their liberation from the British. And let me tell you how diabolical the white man is, Nathan. He crossed an entire ocean to avoid taxes from King Richard. He's the real wetback, but you want to call Hispanics wetbacks. You're the real wetback and the devil that the Bible speaks of. El hombre blanco es el diablo. You got a lot to say when it comes to the children of Israel. In 1776, black man and woman, we were still in captivity. We were still in slavery. So if you light that grill up tomorrow, you hate God. And guess what? The oppressor is going to pay for what he's done. And I need you to understand something too, and how real diabolical he is too. The 4th of July is not only a slap in the face to every Hispanic and black man and woman, it's a slap in the face to every so-called Native American Indian man and woman. And you're not really Native American Indian. First Nation man and Seminole Indian man and woman, you are of the tribe of Gad and the tribe of Reuben, Israelites, according to God. First Nation man, you are of the tribe of Gad. Seminole Indian man and woman, you are of the tribe of Reuben. And this land was taken from our brothers, Nathan. Taken. And you and the oppressor celebrates it. He calls it him manifesting his destiny. Well, God said this. Give me Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Let me show you what's going to happen to the oppressor. And you wonder why World War III has to come. A lot of you don't want World War III to come. I'm starting to realize from all the fear that I'm seeing on TikTok and social media. And when you talk to brothers and sisters, you really don't want this captivity to end. It's no different than when we were in Babylon and when we were in Persia with the Persians and the Medes, or the Iranians today, or we were with the Greeks or with the Romans, man. But this empire will fall just like the previous ones did. We're going to go over that tonight. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Baba Show. And again, if y'all have any questions, type your questions in. I will be answering your questions tonight. You got it?
Okay. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe meaning destruction. Destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood. How was America built? America was built on the bloodshed of the Native American Indian, the Seminole Indian man and woman. They came over here. I saw something incredibly stupid. Somebody gonna say America. I saw some silly I saw some silly person. It was like, why do black people keep saying that they were enslaved for over 400 years? America is only 250 years old. Trying to trace it back to 1776. Well, you do know the oppressor got here as early as 1492. And the oppressor does lie. Because they try to tell us 1619. Well, they got here as early as 1492, and the first thing they started to do, the conquistador and Cortez and them boys in Columbus, they started to oppress and enslave and rape the Native American and Seminole Indian and Mexican and Puerto Rican and Cuban man and woman. The Puerto Rican and Cuban man and woman today are the so-called Tainos, the Taino Indian. You enslaved and raped the Taino Indian, the First Nation man and woman, the Seminole Indian, the Mexican, the Guatemalan, because they were here first in this land. It's going on over 500 years, NOJUMPER, of oppression and slavery and abuse at the hand of this oppressor. Our God said destruction to him that buildeth a town with what?
Blood.
With blood, because America was built on our bloodshed. We walk on the grounds of the First Nation man and woman, the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Reuben, were all born in the Hebrew, that Seminole Indian man and woman. And let me explain something to you, black man and woman. I want to speak to you so-called FBA Negroes real quick. I am disgusted and sickened by you and your behavior, because you are quick to say, well, you know, we're pro-black. We're foundational black Americans. But you want to put down Haitians, you want to put down West Indians, you want to put down Mexicans, and you want to put down the First Nation, the Seminole Indian man and woman, nigga, while kissing the ass of the oppressor in the front. They bend over, pucker up, and they kiss the rear end of your oppressor daddy. You're not getting reparations. We're never getting that 40 acres and a mule. Real liberation, real freedom is going to come at the because of a black man from the tribe of Judah named YAHUSHA mashiach. And we got to get together back with our brothers, man, the other tribes. We got to get together with La Raza, that Mexican man and woman, that Guatemalan man and woman, that First Nation and Seminole Indian man and woman, because we share pain. And we share more than just pain. We share blood. We are family, Latino man and woman. Nosotros somos familia, una raza. And you're starting to see that. You're starting to see it, black people stand up, you know what I mean, for the Mexicans, as we should, because La Raza has always stood up for us. I need you to look up the history of the Alamo. Are you aware on why the Alamo was actually fought? Because the oppressor wanted to come into Mexico and drag the Negroes back and put us in slavery, and Issachar, who are the Mexicans, wasn't going for it. Right. You need to understand the history behind the Gullah Wars, when the Seminole Indian and First Nation man and woman of the tribe of Gad and Reuben teamed up with Levi, the Haitians, and teamed up with Judah, the Negroes, and we fought against the oppressor, man. We have always fought side by side with our brothers. Well, guess what? Now it's time for our brothers, the Akim, to come back together again. But to come back the right way, under the banner of our God. They're terrified of that, Nathan. You know what happens when Judah gets back with Issachar? You know what happens when Gad and Reuben get back with Issachar and Ephraim and Judah and Manasseh? They're terrified of that. And we're doing this here in the U.P.K. Our God said destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood. America was built on the bloodshed of black people and First Nation people, man. You walking on our bones every day. And then you're going to go and celebrate the 4th of July? Negro, stop being a traitor. Stop being a traitor. Like, I know you're scared. I know you're terrified. But I need you to stop being scared. I need you to understand that we have a God. That we have a God, man, that said that he would be an enemy unto our enemies and an adversary unto our adversaries if only we obeyed him. That was the time to come back to obey our God. He said destruction is going to come to him that built up a town with blood. Read.
Go
ahead, huh?
I was gonna say if I could, oh man, it was just a brain fuck thing. So
come back to it when you're ready. It'll come back.
And establish a city by iniquity.
How was Philadelphia established? How was New York established? Are you aware that New York, Harlem used to be Seneca Village? All of Central Park was a black city. They came and took it from us, man. They came and took it from us. Let me tell you something, man. I'm from Southwest Philly. Big shout out to Captain Amakabob, man. Captain Amakabob was breaking down to us, and Officer YAHUAH, man. Officer YAHUAH, rise again, was breaking down on how the oppressor came and gentrified South Philly, West Philly, North Philly, and Southwest. They came and took this from us, man. Took it from us. And they still do it to this day. You know what they call it? They call it gentrification. Now you can go to Nicetown. Now you can go to North Philly. You can go to Diamond Street and see the oppressor walking his poodle. You see him down at 60th and King Cesar. You see him down at University City. Moving further and further into our areas, man. Pushing us out. Our God said, woe to him that built up a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. Philadelphia was established on iniquity, on sin. So was New York. You want to forget about Los Angeles, huh? Ain't Vegas called Sin City? And all of that belonged to who? Belonged to who? Belonged to Israel. Belonged to our people. Pushing our people out. Hell, we got pushed out of our original land. That land that they fighting over in the Middle East right now, all of that is our land. Believe it or not, they fighting over Gaza and, and Palestine, fighting over there in Israel. The real land question ain't been raised yet because the residents of that land who it belongs to are still in slavery here in America, in Mexico, in the West Indian Islands, in Central America, and in South America. Woe to them that build up a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. America was built on our bloodshed and built upon with sin. With sin. How do you know it? God said that pork was an abomination. The white man said it's the other white meat. And you eat it. You tear it up. God said that homosexuality is an abomination and you should be put to death. Now the white man says it's an alternative lifestyle. Our God is against America and the propaganda that they promote. And this is why our God also said this, because our people have a problem when you looking at the oppressor like he's your friend and like we can dwell with him in prosperity. We can never. Read Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Proverbs 3 and verse 31. Our God has always been against this place. Our God has always been against the oppressor. And it is about time for us to stand up and realize that we need to fight against it. How do we fight against it? I'm not telling you to go out there and start a militia. I'm not telling you to go out there and hoard all the ammunition. Not saying that you can't get ammunition. Not saying that you can't own a gun in your state. But I'm telling you this, man. It starts with a few steps. Stop selling drugs. Stop using drugs. When they drop the guns off in the neighborhood, take the guns. But leave the drugs. That would frighten every oppressor. Every oppressor. Stop unaliving one another. Stop using drugs and selling drugs to our people. Start there. And guess what? Then you never know. Especially if you come back here in this U.P.K. Might even provoke the Most High. You got what I asked for in the thunder?
God. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Our God said, envy thou not the oppressor. Your problem is you look at the oppressor and what he has and you covet it. You want it. It's like you look at him and think this is the lifestyle that I have to live. And let me explain something to you. You know who was a good example of why we shouldn't live like that? Look at the Puff Diddy. Look at P. Diddy. Reputation is destroyed. And I'm not sitting up here defending the brother. At no means am I defending any of that lascivious behavior. I'm calm with the water. You know what I mean? I'm not defending that behavior at all. But we are not supposed to look at the oppressor and want to live like him. Our God said, envy thou not the oppressor. The problem is you want to live like him. You want to have his freak offs. Because let me tell you something. Freak offs started with them heathens. Let me tell you something. What Puff was doing in his house was no different than what on in the island of Caligula. And y'all probably don't even know what went down in Caligula. Nathan, do you know who Caligula is? I'll explain. Caligula was a Roman emperor. He was a Caesar. And he had an island just off of the shore of Rome that he would go to. And guess what he would do? He would have sex with everybody. And the son, what I'm telling you, that he was having sex with everybody. If it had 2 legs, 3 legs, 4 legs, he slept with it. I'm just saying. That's where the original freak-offs were. Where do you think Epstein got his idea from his island? If I'm not mistaken, his island ain't too far. Epstein Island ain't too far from the Isle of Caligula. It might be the same. Don't quote me on it. It might be. It's the same thing. Same thing. But you looking at him and you think you can live that lifestyle. Black man and woman, I have to tell you this, and I tell you this all the time. You are not free, white, and 21. Right. You're not. You can't live like them. The oppressor is the original freak. You can't live like that. You can't. You can't. The oppressor is the one that's trying to have the orgies with women and with men, mainly men. And you look at Puff Diddy, you look at P. Diddy, he want to be just like the oppressor. He want to be like Epstein. He want to be like Woody Allen. He wants to be like Sandusky. He wants to be like, what's the other oppressor? The one that was famous, that was molesting and touching everybody. He grabbed Terry Crews by his rod, and his big ass just bitched up. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was sleeping with anybody and everybody. Envy thou not the oppressor. Don't look at what the oppressor has and envy him. We have something that this oppressor and these other nations don't have. And that's our God, YAHUAH, because he chose us. Keep reading.
Come. And choose none of his ways.
And choose none of his ways. None of them. Being a sodomite is the way of the oppressor. That goes all the way back to Africa with the Hamites, because that's not something that we did. That's something that Africans did. A lot of people don't know the thing. Egypt was the first metropolitan homosexuality alternative lifestyle city. Homosexuality ran rampant all throughout Africa, especially in Egypt, especially also with the oppressor. I just went over Caligula, brother. If you was, man, listen, you do your research on that, you will be disgusted by the lasciviousness that you will see that Esau does. That's why our God said, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Don't choose any way of the oppressor, because guess what? When you choose the way of the oppressor, and I need you to understand something. I don't want you to believe that what he does, he's going to go unpunished for it. Oh, no. He is going to pay. I titled this class, More Plagues to Come, because there are more plagues that are going to come. Let me get to a few of them real quick. Let me 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5. Let me tell you something. What you see right now with Iran, listen, man, Putin just sent more soldiers. Pushaysty, the real Pushaysty, not the brother that's locked up, you know what I mean, in a federal pen. The real Pushaysty is the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. He sent more troops, his troops into Iran. Keep messing around. China about to link back up with Iran too. North Korea sent troops to help Putin with the Ukraine. It's war to come. And there's more plagues to come. And I'm going to show it to you right out of the Bible. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5.
God, it's the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues.
I will bring what?
Plagues upon the world.
The Lord said he was going to bring plagues upon the world. You want to know what one of those big plagues was? What's that plague that shut down the entire oppressor's world, shut his economy down, where black people got a chance to sit at home and rest and get paid, Latinos to thinking, oh, COVID-19. Oppressor had no answer for that, Nathan.
Right.
There are more plagues to come. There are more plagues to come. You can't harm Latinos. You can't harm the First Nation man and woman. You can't harm the black man and woman without our God having anything to say or do about it. Our God said that he is going to bring plagues upon the world. Upon the society of the oppressor, there are more plagues to come that are far worse than the corona. That RSV virus hit last winter the fun. I had a little bit of that. That was rough. I couldn't speak for like 3 weeks. I'm telling you, I was walking around. I sound like Louis Armstrong. I was walking around. I see trees of green, red roses through. You can only imagine. It was rough. There are more plagues to come, man. Keep reading.
God. The sword.
The what?
The sword.
Oh, the sword is war, death. The sword. What you think going on with India and Pakistan right now? You know what's so funny about India and Pakistan? The fun. What if I told you they're the same people? Both of them in 7-Eleven.
Right.
I'm literally not lying to you. Both of them are in 7-Eleven and in Dunkin' Donuts. That's them. And they beefing with each other. The sword, death. It's coming, man. And you playing around. You playing games. You want to celebrate the 4th of July? That's another thing, too, Nathan, I want to ask black people. You ask any black person, right? Most of them that are reasonable. If you ask them their opinion on Donald Trump, they'll say they hate Donald Trump, F Donald Trump, as they should, because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know Donald Trump is going to celebrate the 4th of July, right? He's going to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas. If it's really F him, why are you going to do the same things as him? Why would you? If you truly don't mess with him. How about come back and do what our God said to do?
Right.
That's why more plagues have to come. That's why the sword has to come. You want to get together and have a barbecue where the Lord is about to barbecue Israel and the Middle East and America. This about to be a barbecue.
Right.
Listen, man, I'm looking forward to the new Kingdom of Thunder. I want to have a cookout myself. Salaki with the good strong drink. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
God.
Famine. Let me explain something to you. Them food shortages, when they happen, and they're gonna happen. Listen, man, I slave in them grocery stores. Let me tell you something. I manage receiving. When that, and them truck drivers, you see how small story, the sanitation workers here in Philadelphia are on strike, and rightfully so, because they are vastly underpaid. Here's the thing, right? What you think gonna happen when these truck drivers go on strike? When the food ain't gonna get in the supermarket? Oh, it's gonna get real then. It's famine that's gonna happen. You want to deport Mexicans and Guatemalans. You want to deport, you know what I mean, Haitians. What do you think? And it was so sad. One oppressor devil was smart. She said, well, she got smart later. She said, I was all for Donald Trump. Yeah, deport the Mexicans. But she owned a farm and then said, damn, none of my workers came to work. I wonder why, but I wonder why, she devil. I wonder why. And then she said she made a mistake. No. Of course you made a mistake. Because he don't give a damn about none of y'all anyway. Trump only give a damn about himself and money. That's it. That's really it. Money is his God. Our God said that war was coming, that he was going to send plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, read.
Death.
Do I even have to break that part down? Death. Look at all the people we lost during COVID. Just COVID. And that was one small virus. What do you think is going to happen when famine comes, when war comes, when you know what I mean? When all the different things that was prophesied during the time of the prophets of Daniel and Christ, what do you think gonna happen? Death. People are going to die. And believe it or not, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, we don't want you to die. Our mission here in the Israelite school, you know what I mean, of universal practical knowledge under 13 Shield Commander General YAHANNA, to bring this truth to Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. We pray that all of Israel, that every Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman makes it. The scripture says 2/3 must perish. We pray that the Most High has the same mercy that he had on Moses and us during the wilderness. You do understand, right, that the Lord told Moses that he was going to make a nation out of him. The Lord was going to forget about what he told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and make a covenant with Moses, and we would have been Mosites, you know, Mashiachites. And let me explain something to you. You better thank the Most High for Mashiach, Moses, because Moses was a better brother than me. Because if it was on me, on my rank, NOJUMPER, you'd have been Yediah Ban YAHAWAH, you'd have been Yediah Ban YAHAWAH, and bitch, you'd have been Yediah Baf YAHAWAH. But Moses beseeched the Lord and said, Lord, have mercy on us. Think about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We pray that our God has the same mercy on all of our people. And what do? You go out there and you worried about the wrong thing. Every time we go on social media, the fun, like if I go on TikTok one more time and hear about, can we go 50-50? Like what? Like the roles of men and women. It just seems like it's just bitter women that keep picking the wrong brother and the brothers that don't know how to get a woman. And to be honest with you, y'all deserve each other. But this is where the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge comes in. Let us teach you. Sis, let us pick your husband for you. Brother, let us pick that sister for you. We have bigger things to worry about. Death is coming. The sword is coming. Famine is coming. And you worried about who should pay for what? You worried about who pay. I mean, also dispel that. For any relationship, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, you know who should pay the bills or pay this or pay that? The one that can. The one that can is the one that should do it. Because sex is marriage, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. And when you come together, you become one flesh. You become one family structure under the Most High. And that structure is, according to 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 3, there's the Most High, who's the head of Christ, Christ the head of man, and the man is the head of the woman. Shalom. We have bigger issues to worry about than for us to be beefing with each other. When we have ops all around us, there are the other nations. That's what we have to worry about. Keep reading, the son.
Okay. And destruction.
Destruction. Destruction is coming. Listen, that destruction is going to be glorious because America is going to fall the same way Sodom and Gomorrah fell. And what you don't want to be, you don't want to be like Lot's wife. You want to know why Christ said, remember Lot's wife? Lot's wife loved Sodom and Gomorrah. You can't be like her. Lot's wife loved Sodom and Gomorrah. You can't be a brother or a sister that loves America. You have to hate this place.
Right.
You have to want a better place to raise our babies, to bring our babies up. If you love America, it's something deeply wrong with you. I know what it is. It's Stockholm Syndrome. We can fix that too. Destruction is coming to this place. Go ahead, Nathan.
Sir, now what you're saying is heavy. So would you say that that happened to us before when we left Egypt?
Brother, I'm going to break down step by step each time it happened. This is, I'll get this precept for you. We're going to go to Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes 1. And I'm going to start at verse 11. General Hyman was also breaking this down Monday excellently and beautifully, of course. You know what I mean? Like, reincarnation is real. We all die and we come back. Now, Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9 says, the thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. There's no new thing under the sun. There's really no such thing as anything that's new. We've been through it before. We've been through this step by step so many different times. As a matter of fact, right? Let's get that. Hold Daniel, the 7th chapter. Hold Daniel chapter 7 and verse 1. Reading on in 2 Ezra 15 and verse 6, it says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. This is what's going on, man. It has been fulfilled. Their hurtful works, the wickedness of this place, is no different than the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah and of Egypt and of any of these other places. I said matter of fact, it's actually the perfect time, because I said I was going to go over this last time I taught. I believe I said we was going to go over that. Let's go over Daniel. Let's go to Daniel, the 7th chapter of Baba Bashar real quick. And what's so heavy about Daniel, the 7th chapter, it goes over the captivities that we have been in. I want you to start at Daniel, the 7th chapter in the first verse. Baba Bashar.
Now, God, it's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon.
Belshazzar was the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. When we went into Babylon the first time, right? Oh, Salaki. Well, when we went into Babylon the first time as Israelites, guess what? Nebuchadnezzar was king. Now, this is the time of the first year of Belshazzar, who's the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. Keep reading.
Oh, God. King of Babylon,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel had dream and vision of his head upon his bed.
Now, Daniel had a dream, and this dream is heavy. Keep going.
Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in a vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strode upon the great sea.
Keep going. Read verse 3.
And four great beasts came up from the sea.
Mm-hmm. Diverse. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. Meaning they're different type of beasts. But read verse 3. Or read verse 4. Salaki.
Okay. The first was like a lion and had eagle wings.
The first was like a lion, but it had eagle's wings. That symbolizes the Babylonian Empire. Now, this is when we came into Babylon, the first. We came out of Egypt. But now, here's what's so heavy about it, too, Nathan. When we were in Egypt, Egypt was the great superpower on the earth. We went into Egypt, 70 deep, and came out, exceeding great army. Brothers and families with their kids and wives. But then we messed up when we got into our land of Israel. And then the Lord told us that we were going to go into captivity. And this was the second captivity that we went into after Egypt. We went into Babylon. The first was like a lion which had eagle's wings. The lion that has eagle's wings symbolizes Babylon. When we went into Babylon, and modern day Babylon, if I'm not mistaken, is in that land of Iraq, over there in that Middle East. Keep going, son.
I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked.
Now, I beheld until those wings got plucked. What does it mean where those wings got plucked? I went over this before. Babylon eventually fell, and Babylon is going to fall again. It's going to fall again. Keep going.
And it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
Now, man's heart was given to it. Now, what's heavy, right, about that? If you look up, you know what I mean, the big statue that they have, and I believe they built one in Las Vegas. They wanted Daniel's homies, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. Now, Nebuchadnezzar made, in Daniel, I believe it's in Daniel the 3rd chapter. In Daniel the 3rd chapter, Nebuchadnezzar built a statue. You know what I mean? And he wanted everybody to bow down to it. Now, I'm going to give you the nigga version. Shout out to Captain Yadazai, Captain of 13,000. I'm going to give you the hood story. You know what I mean? On Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego real quick. Those are some hardcore niggas, man. Because Nebuchadnezzar built his own little false god and made it stand on his own too. If you look up, you know, you can look this up. You see it, they have it in Vegas right now, where it's a statue, it's standing like this. You know what I mean? It got 3 different forms of metal, you know what I mean, up on it, standing on his own too. And they told the children of Israel, the thunder, well, if you don't bow down to this, guess what? You're going into a fiery furnace. Everybody bowed down like, yeah, Nebuchadnezzar, Salakia, keep that fiery furnace away from me. Keep it away from me. We do not want to burn up the water. Now, it was 3 brothers that disregarded it. That was Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. They said, we not bowing down to it. And when Nebuchadnezzar came and asked them, he said, how come y'all ain't bowing down to my statue? Why ain't you bowing down? And them brothers said the hardest hit to Nebuchadnezzar, who was king at the time. They said, listen, I don't think you're going to like our answer. You know what I mean? Because Nebuchadnezzar said, nothing is going to be able to deliver you from me. Your God ain't going to be able to help you if I put you in that furnace. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, even if our God doesn't help us, guess what? We still not bowing down to your statue. That's Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego was one West.
Right. And
when they threw them brothers in the furnace, they made the furnace 10 times hotter than what it was. And the furnace burnt up the man that the soldiers that put them in it. And then when they put them in there, right, they burned up. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and one other was walking around in the furnace like nothing happened to him, safe from harm. And Nebuchadnezzar had to call one of his officials over, call one of his niggas over. The thunder was like, didn't we put 3 men in there? We put 3 niggas in there, right? They said, yeah. Why is it 4 niggas in there? Because the angel of the Lord delivered Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, man. And Babylon fell. Right. Not too long right after that. But after we came out of the captivity of the Babylonians, we went into another captivity. And we're about to go over that too. Keep reading.
Verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear.
Now, the second beast that Daniel saw in this vision, the first that was the lion that had eagle's wings, was the children of Israel going into the Babylonian captivity. Now, the second was like a bear. The bear represents the Persian Empire. Because after the fall of Nebuchadnezzar, you know what I mean, and Belshazzar, guess what? Darius, king of Persia, king of Assyria, came and took over. Those are the Persians and the Medes. You know who the modern day Persians and the Medes are today? Iran. Keep that in mind. Keep reading.
And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, Oh, damn. So they're saying like he had 3 ribs in the mouth. Is that talking about people?
Listen, not just people, right? When it says that he had 3 ribs in his mouth in between the teeth of it, this bear came and devoured the lion, the Babylonian lion. Now, think about it like this. The Babylonians are in charge. Now Nebuchadnezzar, they're ruling. The bear comes and devours, you know what I mean, the lion with eagle's wings. Because after Nebuchadnezzar, after Babylon, the Persians and the Medes, who are the modern day Iranians, they came in and conquered.
Right.
That's symbolizing them coming in and taking over, and now they're ruling over us. You understand, right?
Come.
Keep going.
Go on. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
And devour much flesh. Now, after the Babylonians had their turn, now Iran, the Persian Empire, now they had it. Okay. You seen 300?
Come.
Remember, what's the boy name? Xerxes. Xerxes was a descendant of Darius, who fought against the Greeks and Leonidas. Xerxes was of the same bloodline and the same family of Darius, who was the king of the Persians and the Medes and the Syria.
They said that?
It's history.
Oh, that's like, okay.
It's real. Yeah, you ain't know that was they were real people.
Oh, damn, man.
Now, 300 was a movie. It was a battle that took place, but that when you see the army that Xerxes had, that was the Persian Empire.
Right.
The Persian Empire expanded into North and East and even West Africa, all of the Middle East, into modern day France, modern day Russia, modern day Britain.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Germany, which was Germanica back then. Like the Persian Empire was huge. The Babylonian Empire was massive. It was huge. They had a lot of land, a lot of territories that they ruled over. Right. So the Babylonians had their turn ruling. And then when the Persians came into play, they had their rule under Darius and on down to Xerxes.
Right. Okay. Come.
Yeah. Keep going.
Come.
And when it says arise and devour much flesh, they came and started, you know what I mean, to circumnavigate and to take over, you know what I mean, other different regions and lands and countries.
Right.
They're the superpower. Like how Egypt was a superpower under Pharaoh, under Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon was a superpower, and under the Persians and the Medes, they were a superpower. Yeah. Daniel, the 7th chapter, is breaking down the different superpowers that ruled at the time, and Daniel is seeing this in a vision. Keep reading. In a dream that he had.
Come. Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard.
Now, I brought up 300 for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. Because eventually the Greeks took over, and they ended up defeating the Persian Empire. They ended up doing that under a man named Alexander. They call him Alexander the Great, but we call him Alexander the Greek. Now, what's heavy about Alexander, because I know you heard of Alexander. Alexander was famous for walking around with leopard skin.
Right.
He would wear the leopard around him. So when you see in Daniel, the 7th chapter, which says, after I behold another beast like a leopard, it's showing you the Greeks taking over under Alexander and how they started to circumnavigate the earth. How it was under the Babylonians with the lion with eagle's wings. It was with the bear, which was the Persians and the Persians and the Medes, was modern day Iran. Now the Greek Empire under Alexander is taking over. Keep reading.
Come. Which had upon the back of the 4 wings of a fowl.
Now, 4 wings of a fowl, and keep going.
The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Dominion was given to it. So the Greeks came and they started to circumnavigate the earth. After Alexander died, right, his territory was split up amongst his generals. Antiochus is one of them, which we can read about in First Maccabees. Like he gave his different territories to his commanding officers, his generals. So, and dominion was given to it. Now you see how it's coming down on what you were asking earlier. First, we were under captivity and slavery under the Babylonians. Then we were under the Persians and the Medes, who's modern day Iran. And then the Greeks, we know who the Greeks are. And there's another empire that came after the Greeks. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible.
Now, this fourth beast after the Greeks, he saw this beast, and he was dreadful and terrible. More terrifying than the other ones. Keep going.
And strong
Exceedingly, keep going.
And it
You good.
And it had great iron
teeth. This is talking about the Roman Empire. Because after the Greeks ruled, then is when it started to transition over to Rome. Now the Romans are in charge. We're still under Roman captivity because America ain't nothing but Rome on steroids. This beast had iron teeth. Ooh-wee. Keep reading.
It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped and stomped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
It was diverse from all the beasts that was before it. Meaning this one was nothing like the other three that came before it. And Rome was a mother. I don't even got to break down how dreadful the Roman Empire was. Christ walked the earth during the time of the Romans. Keep reading.
Come. And it had 10 horns.
And it had 10 horns. Now, who were those 10 horns? I'll get you that. Well, it had 10 horns. Keep reading.
Verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns, plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes, like the eyes of man, and a mouth. And a mouth speaking great things. Let me tell you who these 10 horns are. The 10 horns is America, Australia, Scotland, Ireland, Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Those are the 10 horns. And the 7 heads is England, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Russia, France, and Italy. You can find that here. You can also find that in Revelation 13 and verse 1 with the 7 heads and the 10 horns. That's what broke apart from the Roman Empire. Keep reading. And it was speaking great things. How was it speaking great things? Speaking great things against the Most High. Listen, man, the scripture says, man, that he turned things upside down, if I'm not mistaken. Turned things upside down. And spoke, and listen, in the 25th chapter, in the 25th verse, it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints. How do you know he wear out the saints? He wearing us out here in the UPK, telling us homosexuality and alternative lifestyle. It's all right to eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. It's all right for brothers to be sodomites and sisters to be whores. We fighting against this oppressor, man, and this beast. And he think to change times and laws that he should be given into his hand until a times and times divided times. But here's the thing with that. Con, don't sweat. You also pour me a little bit of Jack. A little bit more Jack. And what's so heavy, right? Is that answer? Yeah, what you was at? You still had a little bit more?
Yeah, no, it was just that when I said that, it was basically I was trying to get at, we always act like that, like how you were saying, when we in every captivity, because we don't know, we ain't know who we were.
Exactly. And that's also a plot too for them not to let us know who we are. Because here's the thing, right? Scripture says this, if I could find it. I believe it's in Judith. It is in Judith. In Judah 5 and 20. Use the reference for it, I'll get it back for you. When the thumb was asking was heavy, right? They don't want us to know who we are. Like if you read at Judah the 5th chapter in Psalms 83, which we're going to get to, is heavy because they don't want us to know that we're the children of Israel. That's a secret that they want to keep secret. But the problem is the Lord sent his prophets back in 1969. And we've uncovered that secret long ago. That blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, that we are the Jews of antiquity, that we are the Israelites. And that's what they don't want us to know. If you read in Daniel, listen, and reading on the verse 9, it says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down. Daniel saw all of that, of those four great beasts. He saw Babylon with the Persians and the Medes. He saw Greece and Rome. And he said, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Who's more ancient than days? He's seen the Most High. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, where the Most High sit, YAHUAH, whose garment was white as snow, describing the garment that the Most High has on, because the Most High has a physical body. I thought he was just the spirit, but we'll get on with that. The Most High are in a garment as white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Meaning the Most High had what? Hair like wool. Who has hair like wool? Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. Because our God YAHUAH is a black man in spirit. It says, I beheld until the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Meaning the Most High got nigger naps, man, because he's the nigger God. The Most High YAHUAH is the nigger God, man. He's our God. And he's the God of blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. The Most High sits on a throne of fire. And he has four great beasts that scream his name with millions of angels that scream, Barakatha YAHUAH, Barakatha YAHUAH, blessed are you, Most High. And listen, what we have to understand, even with that, Daniel is saying he saw all of these other kingdoms and thrones being cast down. And where our God sat, he saw. And he ain't just see that. Can you read verse 13?
Come on, sir. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 13. I saw in the night vision.
Matter of fact, read verse 12.
Verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away.
The Lord took their dominion away, meaning the Babylonians had their time. It's getting taken away. The Persians and the Medes had their time taken away. The Greeks had their time taken away. The Romans, it's going to be taken away. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away. The Lord is going to take their power from them, their rule. Keep reading.
Yet their lives were prolonged for a season in time.
For a season in time. They received an extension of time. And in that time, it speaks about that in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. In the time of our calamity, in the time of our iniquity had an end, our sin had an end, they showed no mercy. That's why blood is going to pursue them, man. Read verse 13.
Verse 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like a son of man.
One like the Son of Man. Read.
Come with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days.
Stop. Who is this talking about? The Son of Man with the clouds of heaven coming to the Ancient of Days. Go ahead, Nathan.
This is talking about YAHUSHA going to the Most High.
Absolutely. And we're in Daniel, the 7th chapter. And wait a minute, you mean to tell me, Nathan, in Daniel, the 7th chapter and the 13th verse, that it's talking about Christ? Is this a precept for Christ in the Old Testament? Yes, it is. And it also tells you what? That one like unto the Son of Man that came to the Ancient of Days, meaning there's a difference between the Most High and Christ. They're not the same. They're on one accord, but they're not the same. Keep reading.
Come, and come to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before.
And they brought him near before him. Why? Keep reading.
And there was given him dominion.
The Most High gave the Son of Man, gave our King dominion, gave Christ rulership. And for you fake Israelites, for you so-called Old Testament Israelites, I'll be seeing you in the chat. Y'all talk about YAHUSHA. There is no YAHUSHA. That was Greek. Jesus was Greek. The Bible don't speak about that, nigga. You don't know the Bible. Because Daniel, the 7th chapter, and the 13th and 14th verse says that Christ was going to come to the Most High, and the Most High was going to give him dominion, rulership. Christ was always prophesied all throughout the Bible. There are plenty of precepts. The one in Numbers when it says a star shall come out of Jacob. Oh man, in Deuteronomy, where a king was going to arise from amongst us, man. He was going to be given dominion. Here in Daniel, the 7th chapter, in the 13th and 14th verse, the Lord gave Christ dominion. Read.
Come, God, and glory.
And glory, more glory than anything you can imagine. Read.
And a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages shall serve him.
And they shall serve him. Ooh-wee. They're going to serve our king. They ain't going to have a choice. Keep reading.
His dominion is an everlasting dominion.
It's an everlasting dominion, meaning it ain't going nowhere. Christ's kingdom is going to be forever. Forever. Precept. Scripture says that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that cometh after. Read.
Come, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
It shall not be destroyed. Christ's kingdom will never be destroyed. It's going to stand forever. Now, if I could, Nathan, go to Psalms 83. Now, what you asked is so heavy, right? If you go to Psalms 83 and you start at verse 1, Psalms, the 83rd chapter. This is the other nations plotting against us. That's something that we have to understand. We keep looking at other blacks and Latinos as our ops, as our opposition, as our enemies. We're not each other's enemies. The oppressor and these other heathen nations are our enemies. And I'm going to give you the precept for it. Read what you got, Nathan, what you got.
Come. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Keep reading.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Alexa, what is the definition of tumult?
Tumult is usually defined as violent and noisy commotion or disturbance of a crowd or mob, uproar. For more, ask me to give
Thank you, Alexa. Our enemies make a tumult. Our enemies came together to be violent against us, man. To conspire against blacks and Latinos, man. It says our enemies, because our God has enemies. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, we have enemies. Read.
Come. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. These other nations hate our God so much, hate us so much. They lifted up their head. Read. They started to conspire. Keep going.
That they have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel. They came together against us. They got together and had counsel. Keep reading.
Against thy people.
Imagine all the different nations of the United Nations coming together against one people. That's how they came up against us, man. That's how they conspired against us, to keep us down, to keep us in mental and physical slavery, man, to abuse us, to oppress us. Keep reading.
God. And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. We're the hidden ones of the Most High. Keep reading.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from what?
being a nation.
They said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. How do you cut us off from being a nation? They don't want us to know who we are. They don't want us to know that we're the children of Israel. They don't want us to keep the Passover. They don't want us to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of First Fruits, the Feast of Booths, the more of the blowing of the trumpets, man. They don't want us to understand and know that. They want us to celebrate the 4th of July. They want to cut us off from being a nation. They don't want blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians realizing that we're the Jews of antiquity, that we're the people of the Bible. Keep reading.
Come. That the name of Israel may be no more remembered.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's why when you ask a brother, what's his nationality today? He'll give you 10 different answers and maybe a church denomination. We don't even know that we're the children of Israel. We have no clue. That's why Barakatah YAHAWAH, YAHUSHA for this I.S.U.P.K, man.
Right.
Said this prophet's back in 1969. Keep reading.
Verse 5. For they had consulted together with one consent.
They came together with one mission, one goal, one objective. Read.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee. They are organized against us. Who? Read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom, the white man, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. El hombre blanco es al diablo, the Caucasians. The tabernacles of Edom, white people came together against us. And not just them, keep reading.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Ishmaelites, the Arabs. So you telling me white people and the Arabs, because Arabs are Ishmaelites, man. Keep reading.
Come. And of Moab.
Of Moab, the Chinese. Nihama, Sheshemi. So you telling me the Arabs, who's Ishmael, white people who are Edom, Moab, who are the Chinese. Keep reading.
And the Hagarenes.
The Hagarenes are more Arabs. Keep going.
Gabal.
Ooh-wee. Other heathens. Keep reading.
And
Ammon. The Japanese. Keep reading.
And Amalek.
Amalek is the so-called Jew, the devil that the Bible speaks of, a son of Esau. And not just Amalek, the Philistines, Africans, and the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria is also joined with them, talking about Iran. This is what you should use, Nathan, what you were saying. These other nations came up against us in a very organized manner, right, to make it so that we don't know that we're the children of Israel. They don't want us to know who we truly are. They don't. So what you were saying is absolutely correct. It ain't a theory, as you should say. You should teach it. You should say it and teach it and put this precept behind it. They don't want us to know who we are. That all the nations came up against us, man. All these different heathens came up against us. And let me tell you how diabolical they are. I want you to read something. I'm going to read something. Now, I highlighted it, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to read it. Son, I want you to get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 52. I'm going to read this. This right here, right, is the works of Josephus. This is the works of Josephus. Josephus was an Israelite. Josephus was, a soldier, He was a soldier in Israel, but he got captured, and he also was a journalist. You know how you see journalists in war zones today? Josephus was like that. Now, and he was also documenting the different events that took place with Israelites. Now, this happened, ironically, during the time of the Romans. We're going to go to Josephus, page 737. It's a rough one, the thumb. I want to read this. You might read this and drop the book.
Yeah.
Page 737, book 6, The Wars of the Jews. Now, during this time, we were at war with the Romans. The Romans came in, you know what I mean, and started pushing up against us. Ironically, during the abomination of desolation. Brother. Page 737. There was a certain woman that dwelt beyond Jordan. Her name was Mary. Her father was Eleazar of the village Beelzebub, which signifies the house of Hesed. She was eminent for her family and her wealth, and she had fled away to Jerusalem with the rest of the multitude and was with them besieged therein at the time. Now, this was a wealthy sister. She came from money. She was a wealthy Israelite sister. Now, it says the other efforts of this woman had already been seized upon. And you got to remember, during this time, this is during the time where they was coming in and they was abusing sisters, raping sisters, taking the money, killing the brothers. It was rough because we were at war, you know what I mean, with the Romans.
Right.
It says this poor woman, into a very great passion by the frequent reproaches and imprecations she cast at the rapturous villains, she had provoked them to anger against them. The rapacious villains. The rapacious villains, and these men was coming, you know what I mean, to rape her and abuse her during this time of famine. Now, it says, when also her passion was very fired to a degree beyond famine itself. Because during this time, the Romans were very strategic on how they went to war with us. They starved us. They starved us. And with starvation, you'll do some diabolical things. She then attempted a most unnatural thing in snatching up her son, who is a child suckling at her breast. She said, "O miserable infant, from whom shall I preserve thee in this war?" She's saying, how can I preserve thee, O infant? Her son is a baby who's suckling at her breast. She's breastfeeding him. And she's saying, how can I protect you in this war? She can barely protect herself. For whom shall I preserve thee in this war, this famine, and this sedition? Meaning this, in that famine and that sedition, food was hard to come by. As to war with the Romans, if they preserve our lives, we must be slaves. This famine also will destroy us. She said, you know what I mean? We're either going to be slaves under the Romans, and we still are going to starve before the slavery comes upon us. Yet are the seditious rogues more terrible than both the other. Meaning no matter what way we slice it, it's going to be rough for me and you. Come on, be thou my food. Yeah. The Romans, under the oppressor, starved us to the point to where this woman is getting ready to eat her baby. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And there's more. As soon as she said this, she had slew her son. She killed him. And then roasted him.
Good night.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to read it. First time I read this, I'll never forget it. I was in this class, Officer Daniela was teaching. And when I read this, I damn near dropped the Josephus. She roasted her son and ate the other half of him and kept the other half concealed. Meaning she ate half of him and saved the other half for later. 209. Upon this the seditious came and president, and smelling the horrid scent of this food. They smelled something so horrifying, but they smelled food. It was a horrid scent, something that was vile, disgusting. They threatened her. They said they would cut her throat immediately if she did not show them what food she had already got. So brothers broke in her crib and said, bitch, I know you got food.
Right.
We hungry too. Feed us, or we gonna slit your throat. That's what these brothers said. She replied, and she showed them what food she had gotten. She had saved a fine portion for them and uncovered what was left on her son. These brothers saw that and was like, oh shit. Hereupon they were seized with horror and amazement and stood astonished at the sight when she said to them, this is my own son, and what have been done was my own doing. Come eat of this food. I have already eaten it myself. The son, them brothers saw that, and she said, I have eaten one half, let the rest be reserved. She said, but if it be for you to be scrupulous and do abominate this sacrifice, as I've eaten one half, let the rest be reserved for me. She said, if you don't want to eat the other half of my son, let the other half be reserved for me. And after which those men went out trembling, being never so frightened at anything that they were this. These brothers were at war with the Romans, and they broke in her house because they thought she was hoarding food, and they saw what she did, and they were terrified. And upon the whole city was full of this horrid action immediately, meaning she wasn't the only one that was doing this. She wasn't the only one. This sad instance was quickly told to the Romans, of whom which could not believe, and others pitied the distress which the Jews were under, and who were hereby inducted a more bitter hatred of them ordinary against our nation. But for Caesar, he excused himself before God as to this matter, and he said he had pronounced peace and liberty to the Jews. Caesar said, I wash my hands of that. I ain't do that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. That's like how when black people kill each other, right? And then white people say, well, I wash my hands of that. After bringing the drugs in our community, after bringing the guns in our community, right, after introducing this wickedness to us, they cop out just the way Caesar did. Mm-hmm. And some of you Negroes do it too. What if I told you that was in the Bible? It's a rough one, right, Nathan? Read Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which all shall we.
Listen, the scripture says that the brother who is tender amongst you, his eye would be evil toward his brother. Now you see brothers hating each other. And you see brothers who hate their women, that sister who is tender to him, his wife. He hates his wife of his bosom, and he hates his kids, which he shall leave. I was prophesying brothers leaving their wife and kids and hating their brother. Read verse 56.
Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot, tenderness, the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom.
Now that tender and delicate woman amongst you, who would never walk on the floor barefooted, sisters wasn't walking. Listen, Sisters were so delicate at a time, you ain't even want to step out. You out there in the grass and out there on concrete with your Barney Rubbles out now. Back then, you wasn't doing that. You were so soft and delicate, you ain't even want your bare feet to touch the ground. Now your eyes is evil towards the husband of your bosom. Now you angry with that husband. The same way how the husband was angry with his wife, now you angry with him. It ain't never good enough. He just can't please you. Talking about what, what he don't do and what you do for him, which is all nonsense. Keep going.
Come. And towards her son and towards her daughter.
And you hate your son and you hate your daughter. You see that all the time, right, Nathan?
Yeah.
Sisters hating their children. And not just hating their children. Read.
Come. Verse 57. And towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear.
And towards her children which she shall bear. The children that come from between her feet. Read.
For she shall eat them.
She shall what?
Eat them.
She shall what?
Eat them.
She shall eat them. Just like how that sister during the time when we were going against the Romans ate her baby. That was prophesied about too. And you know how you eat your babies today? By not giving them a chance. By not letting them see their father. By not being with their father. Weaponizing the kids and having the kids celebrate their birthday and Christmas and Thanksgiving and the 4th of July. You devour your kids today. Till this day. Destroying our babies, man. Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, it's time to do better. It's time for us to come back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge under commanding General YAHANNA.
Right.
All of these things that I showed you here in the Bible, in 2nd Ezra, in Deuteronomy, and in Daniel, there's more to come. Give me Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. This is what our king said. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start, hold that. I'm going to go to Daniel 11.
You want to hold Matthew?
Yeah, you can hold Matthew. I'm going to go to Daniel 11 in verse, all that is good. Daniel 11 and verse 31. Daniel 11 and 31 says, an arm shall stand on this part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and they shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. This is talking about the abomination of desolation. Daniel saw a vision of the Romans and the Greeks coming in, sacrificing pigs on our altars. He saw this. He saw this during that, he saw it during his time. Now, mind you, Daniel was in during the Babylonian Empire. He saw visions of this abomination of desolation. And we read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, the different captivities that we were going to go under. Give me Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15. This is
the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination and desolation, of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet.
Daniel spoke about this. And Christ is saying it. Daniel spoke about the abomination of desolation. When they were going to come into Jerusalem, come into our temples and sacrifice pigs on our altars. And what we should do. Read.
Stand in the holy place, whom also readeth, let him understand. Then let them which is in Judea flee into the mountains.
Christ told us to flee into the mountains during that time. He said, when we see the abomination of desolation, when we see them come into our temple and start sacrificing pigs, that we're supposed to get out of Jerusalem. And we're so heavy about that, right? We got that, is it up here? From Babylon to Timbuktu? Might be in the camp then.
I think it is.
Let me get that bubble for sure. It should be downstairs. Let me get that bubble for sure. It's so heavy, right? What Christ is saying, when we see that with the abomination of desolation, that should be the sign of the times, that we were supposed to flee. That we were supposed to get out of town. But here's the thing. Some of our people wanted to stick around. and go to war with the Romans and the Greeks in that way. But we got to understand, man, there's a different fight that we have to fight. We should obey our king. And how should we obey our king today? By doing what our king said. By keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and waking up our people. That's the mission here in the I.S.U.P.K. under command of General YAHANNA since 1969. I'm going to show you, you know what I mean, a little brief history of that from Babylon to Timbuktu. It was a book written by a brother from Philadelphia who went to Temple University, Rudolph Windsor, who ended up doing the research. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to go up in Matthew, the 24th chapter, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, about the different wars and rumors of war. If you read Matthew 24:6, it said, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war, that ye should be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not near. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places." Christ is letting us know that war is supposed to happen. It's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, different famines, different nations coming up against each other. Russia against the Ukraine, Pakistan against, you know what I mean, India, Israel against Iran. We seeing it. That's why we not supposed. That's why our king told us that we should not be troubled when we hear of these wars and rumors of wars, man, because these things are prophesied to happen. They must happen. That's why, as the Lord's chosen people, man, we got to get and understand this. We're going to go to the book of Amos, right? We're going to go to Amos 9 and 8 and Revelations 13 and verse 9. I'll go to that real quick. Go to that real quick. Amos 9. Again, if y'all got any questions, answer it. Let Bubba show. I believe this one was mine, so I believe I marked it. Yes, I did. I want you to read this right here. I believe it's 81. I got it highlighted in the year BC. Start there. In the year BC on page 84. And this is from Babylon to Timbuktu. This book was written by a brother named Rudolph Windsor, went to Temple University. I got it highlighted where you can see it. Read that for me, Bubba Show.
In the year of 65 BC, the Roman army under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
Now, under Pompey, General Pompey, he captured Jerusalem. Meaning he came and took over, him and the rest of the Greeks. Keep reading. And the Romans.
In 70 AD, General
Vespasian
and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
Listen, Vespasian and his son Titus, right, put an end to it. Pompey captured it, but then Vespasian and his son Titus, the Romans came in and put an end to it. Said, you can't govern yourselves no more, and took over completely. Read.
The great slaughter during the period of the military governors of Palestine. Goes
to show you all of that land in Jordan, Israel, Palestine, Iran, Iraq, and so on, in some parts of Saudi Arabia. All of that is our land, man. Keep going.
Many outrageous and atrocities.
It's the
were committed against the residue of the people.
The residue of the people. Those that did not leave when they saw that abomination of desolation. Those that did not leave when Christ and Daniel prophesied about how they were going to come in into our temples and sacrifice them pigs. The residue of the people that stayed against that, we keep going.
During the period from Pompey up to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
1 million what?
Jews fled into Africa.
How could 1 million Jews flee into Africa, NOJUMPER, if the Jews was white? Meaning the Jews was black. We fled, and that's what Christ told us to do. Christ told us to flee into the mountains. We fled up into Europe, and we started to rule as kings over there in the Dark Ages, and most of us fled into West Africa and took over that and blended in with them. How can we blend in? Easy, because the Jews are black.
Right.
Read.
Kamukana. Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution.
Fleeing from what?
Roman persecution.
Fleeing from Roman persecution. And under that Roman persecution, sisters started to eat their children. Brothers, if even more than Josephus. You know what brothers were doing to them? They would eat their gold. Brothers was eating their gold, man. Eating their leather belts. That's how bad the Romans starved us, man. We was eating our leather belts, eating our garments, and eating the gold, and eating our babies. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Go ahead, Nathan.
Did the men eat the babies too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Well, we read about in the Josephus, a sister did that. Well, brothers was eating their gold, Nathan. They was starving us out so bad that we was eating, you know what I mean? We was eating the leather. Eating our leather and even eating gold, man. Yeah. Yeah. That's why if I couldn't, give me Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. That's why we should not be celebrating Thanksgiving. That's why we shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or any of these holidays of the oppressor. We shouldn't celebrate none of it. It should be taboo for any black man and woman, or any Latino man and woman, or First Nation man and woman to celebrate the 4th of July or any of these holidays that the oppressor has. Keep going.
It's the book of Romans, Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. Meaning this. Keep going.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Meaning if you lead a people into slavery, you must go into slavery. The Romans led us into captivity, into slavery. They must go into slavery. They must go into captivity. Keep going.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Because they killed us with the sword up. They must be killed with the sword. Keep going.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And that's why the oppressor has to go into captivity. That's why he has to go into slavery. Man, listen. That's why as blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, we got to come out of America. We got to come out of this captivity. To not celebrate the 4th of July, to not celebrate your birthday, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We got to come back to what our God said by coming back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. And that being said, man, I'm your brother, priest and officer 5000 Yediah. I want to say tawada to everybody for tuning in. You know what I mean? We're going to go over to more of the Josephus next time I teach, man. We're going to go into more of the wars that we fought, you know what I mean, against the Romans and against the oppressor. And now is the time, man, you know what I mean, to get back into this truth. Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. Tune in to Commander General YAHANNA every Monday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Commander General YAHANNA live on the Real General YAHANNA on YouTube. Black Watch, man, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And with that being said, man, I'm going to pass the class off to my brother, Medium 5, Priest and Officer 500, YAHWAH.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. This is the I.S.U.P.K. security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K. starting out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, with Commander YAHANNA. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from their head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from their head to marry. Time, which is a commandment, you can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, or Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Means 10 in Hebrew, YAHUSHUA. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you will like. Upcoming holy convocations. The upcoming holy convocation will be
Memorial the blowing of trumpets.
the memorial blowing of the trumpets. That's the first day of the 7th month. And that will be on Sunday, September 21st, 2025. If you want to read about that, that's in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24 to 25. Remind Akima Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, start to wear all black, boot, shirt, headband, and scarf with that. Man of Israel, I might. Which means the same. Man of Israel, we're going to get one credit to salute. Man of Israel, I might you back. I might. Barak. YAHUAH, Shimmy, Barak, I.S.U.P.K. Sorry, praise your sisters. Man of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I might you back. I might. Barak. YAHUSHUA, I.S.U.P.K.